What's up, wild ones? So, if you've seen the title, if you saw the blog post yesterday, if you didn't, you definitely want to go read that. But the $20 milkshake life. So, if you remember Pulp Fiction back in the 90s, amazing movie, Tarantino, like one of the best. And Vincent Vega and Mia are talking, and they're in there, and in the diner, not diner, oh my God, what is it called? I can't remember. Anyway, they're in the place, they're talking about the thing, and Mia orders, this is Uma Thurman, she orders the $5 milkshake. And Vincent Vega, right, he is like, $5 for a milkshake. You got to be kidding me. And this is John Travolta in his hay. Like it's hilarious, and this whole comedy scene ensues. He's like dumbstruck that someone, again, this is back in the 90s, right? He's dumbstruck that someone would charge $5 for a milkshake and that someone else would pay for it. He has to taste it. He's like, I have to taste this freaking, I got to know what a $5 milkshake tastes like. So yesterday, I was like, this is exactly what happens when when we're really trying to drop into a deeper level of intimacy in our sex life, in our own body, in the way that we show up in the world, and we're wondering why we can't quite get there. Like there seems to be this mysterious, nebulous thing that's standing between us and this like unbridled, delicious, orgasmic, erotic way of living our own life and being in our relationships. And so read the blog post if you haven't, but I talked about like for inflation, it's now the $20 milkshake. So how do you start living that $20 milkshake life in your body, in your sex life, in your relationships, in the way that you create art, all the things, rather than like living as if you're freaking on the dollar menu, right? Like how do you actually begin to transist? Is that no? Shift? How do you actually begin to shift from where you've been, right, at this, and that dollar menu, right, that's low frequency. It is where you're treating your body as if she's a garbage dump. You are treating your relationships as if they are transactional. You are treating sex as if it is something to just like you just want to get off, and then you're like, okay, cosmic, amazing tantra, all this stuff, like it'll be great at some point, but right now all I want to do is just get off and be done with it, right? And you're wanting something else, but yet and still you're every single day, the way that you're showing up in your life is as if your body is off the dollar menu. And so if we're going to go for that $20 milkshake kind of a life, we've got to be able to or be willing to look at the way that we exist in our own skin. So if you're making love and your mind keeps wandering, and not necessarily like I'm not talking about like fantasizing about someone else. I mean, like you can't actually stay present. This is a partner you enjoy being with. You want to be in the sexual intimate moment, and yet you're not there, right? Like you keep checking out, you keep allowing yourself or not even noticing that you have completely lost presence. Now there are a lot of things that can be behind this, right? This can be from different traumas. This can be from like you just have so much going on in your life that you don't even recognize when you've checked out of a situation, even something like as intimate and pleasurable, possibly pleasurable, hopefully pleasurable as sex. Like you don't even realize it. This can be because there's something coming up in your relationship that you're not wanting to look at, and so you keep distracting yourself with thoughts of like, oh, okay, and then I have to do this tomorrow, and then I got to do this, and then oh God, yeah, I wanted to hit that at the gym, and like whatever it is, right? And so there can be so many different things. But suffice to say, dollar menu is not being able to be fully present with the person in front of you that you are making love to. This can be with your friendships. This can be with your art, right? Like we're creators here. And if we are so disconnected from our body and we're treating our body as if she is off that dollar menu, then we are not going to be fully creating like your potential, your capacity, your ability to fully get raw and primal with the way that you create and the way that you speak and the way that you show up in your life and on stages and in like the way that you write, like your whatever it is, it's going to be like so diminished and so disjointed and distracted and fragmented if you are not living that $20 milkshake life. If you're in that lower vibration, it's just not going to happen. So we've got to be willing to start looking at, okay, so this is how I've been vibrating. This is how I'm existing in my own skin. How do I actually begin to do that shift? So one is, it's just like with addiction, right? It's noticing. It's like with grief, with anger, with all the things. We've got to be willing to look at it and say, okay, this is where I am, right? This is how I'm showing up. This is how I'm treating my body. This is how I'm ignoring my body. I'm eating like an asshole. This is the current state of affairs. This is how I'm living. I am treating my body like she is an item on the dollar menu. And also acknowledging that, no, I really want that $20 milkshake life. Like I really want to have that transition. And when we can say, okay, so if I'm here, I don't want to be there. One is, okay, I accept where I am. And also I'm going to allow myself to not become overly attached to that. And what does this mean about me? And this says this if I'm here, and oh my God, I've done so much work and I've been doing personal growth and I've been doing all the things and all my soul work. And I've been, living on the mountain. I've been doing so much and I shouldn't be here again. So also recognizing the old stories and the old encoding that start to creep up when you fully embody like the realization of this is what's happening, this is where I am in the moment. Detach from that. And then, okay, I fully accept that I would like to be over here. This is the desired state of being. This is where I want to shift into. This is what I want to really start to embody on every level in my life. And once you start to like, okay, I see that, I taste that, I know that I want that, and I can own that that's what I want. Like I'm going to start to recognize what's the resistance here. What are all of the stories and the old encoding? What is that telling me about what it would mean about me if I shifted into this? If you shift into that, then you're going to lose all of your current relationships. If you shift into that, like really treating your body like she's that $20 milkshake, like she deserves all of it. This is completely a vegan milkshake, of course. I mean, duh, like, ethically sourced and all these things. But you're transitioning and you're shifting and you're like, I own that this is what I want. What else? What's the resistance? What comes up? What voices are telling you this is going to like blow up your entire life? This is going to, your health is going to take a, downward spiral, because every time we start to eat healthy, our body goes through like a full-on cleanse and dumping and purging, and then I can't exist in my life and I can't create and I can't show up in my relationship. So every time I try to shift into this, these things happen. And so we have all of these things, and it seems so valid because they're true with the lowercase t, right? Like, yeah, maybe the last time you did it, you lost a friendship, right? But what's also like, what else might be true here? What's the capital T truth here? I always talk about this lowercase and the uppercase. Yes, that's just resistance though. It doesn't mean it didn't happen, right? But it's the lowercase truth. The capital T is, okay, so that did happen, right? And also, like, what else is a possibility? If I'm fully in alignment with God, art, and soul in this moment, and I chose to step into treating myself with full compassion and love and like erotic embodiment and all of the things, and I really said yes, and I followed up my yes with the way that I was showing up in my life, with the way that I was showing up in my relationships, with the way that I was showing up in my sex life. I followed that up with my aligned actions as well. Is it possible, right? Like, is it possible that the capital T truth might be that this time could be different, right? Might be that, oh, wow, like, well, the last time when I decided to really like fully step into this and embody this and go all in, last time I started eating better, but I also wasn't moving my body at all. I was also super stressed. I also wasn't sleeping at all. I was blah, 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 like all this other things. But we're like, oh, but no, I tried to change one thing and it didn't work and everything went bananas. And it was because I tried to get healthy, or I tried to treat my body better, or I tried to work on my trauma, or I tried to do these things and everything else fell apart. Yes, and, right? I tell this to my clients all the time. What else might be true here? what else? What possibility am I willing to perhaps, maybe, oh my goodness, I could potentially step into here? What else might be true? And you might have like some music going, you might have your journal, really finding a movement practice that really just allows you to shed and like drop the layers and drop the masks and get really raw with yourself here. And then really allowing yourself to just like sit with it. This is one of the biggest things. I talk about this with my students all the time in yoga, right? Like we humans, we do so much to distract ourselves from actually sitting in our own shit. Like sit with our shit, not like sitting in our shit. Sit with our shit, with our muck, our emotions, our energy, the things that we're ignoring, we're denying from like the God in us. Like we're like, I can't see that, I won't look at that. And so we spend all this time trying to avoid that and go somewhere else and not feel these things, that we've created a life around avoidance rather than a life of desire and a life of healing and being like so fully erotically embodied in our own skin, right? And so that $20 milkshake life requires that erotic embodiment. It requires us to really get so true and honest and to listen to our body when she is talking to us. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments below. Are you living that dollar menu life, or are you living that $20 milkshake life? And if you're kind of in between, like what inquiries can you start to drop into that would help you shift, right? So let me know which life you're kind of living right now and what you're willing to do about it, who you're willing to be about it, right? And I will respond, and hopefully we can have some fabulous conversations here. If you know you want to go deeper into this work, you can come and play all the things, drop in super deep with me. The May issue of Body of Work will be released, obviously, in May, because, you know, it's the May issue. Yeah, but you can get started right now. You can go to yourbodyofwork.com and you will see all these fabulous bonuses and how you can start working with me one-on-one right now. So if you have any questions, drop them below, shoot me some comments, all that stuff. If this resonates with you and it brought you into all the feels, then make sure you are subscribed, hit that little like, turn on the little bell notifications, all that jazz. I think that's it. Yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. As always, here's to your untaming. Bye, wild ones.